Hi everyone, it's Jay Mamalmi. Thanks for joining me today. I am part of the Creative Design team's YouTube Hop today, and we are featuring treat holders. More about that in just a moment. I wanted to give you a quick Design Space tutorial. I use this image, which is from the Artiste Cricut collection from Close to My Heart, but I didn't want that flap that folds over and makes the collar. It's supposed to be like a Santa or elf bag. So I am slicing that off. So what I had to do was detach those score lines, and then I could slice the top off of that. And then I put the score lines back in place. You can see that I didn't do a perfect job, but it was good enough. And I didn't worry about getting rid of that top score line that I don't need anymore. It doesn't really matter that it's there. So I'm going to size it. The total size is just under 6 inches, so it's about 4.5 inches tall once assembled. And I wanted to do 2, but it wouldn't all fit on one mat, but I knew it actually would. So I tricked it and told it it was a 12 by 24 mat, and you can see that it fit just fine. Now I am saving that extra little scrap, and you'll see how I used that at the end of the video. A little trick is if you peel the mat off of the paper upside down like I did, it will help to not curl your paper instead of peeling the paper off of the mat. So it actually really does help. So I'm going to assemble one of these little treat bags for you on camera and then the other one off camera. And while I assemble this, I wanted to tell you about the creative design team. So I am part of a very talented group of ladies. I'm honored to be with these other ladies to create very high quality artwork and inspiration for you. So I believe there are 7 of us participating this month. There are only 8 in our design team. We wanted to keep it a small group of friends, and so I hope that you will go and check out their videos as well. I'm going to link them all below, and so you can go check out their versions of treat containers. Everybody did something a little bit different. So even though I used one piece of paper here, I am reversing the other one because it doesn't matter which way it goes. So one bag is going to be pink and one bag is going to be that floral. This is from the new Celebrate Today collection, by the way, from Close to My Heart. I just love these bright colors. And it's perfect for a Valentine's look without being super overly Valentine's-y. Some of these I'm going to use as little Valentine's treat bags, and then some of them are just going to be little treat bags. I'm also going to be filling them with another handmade treat. I am making some flower pens, so I'm going to show you how to assemble the flowers and put them together as a pen. So first up is this spiral rose, and I'm kind of curling all of the petals first before I start, and then I'm going to be very quickly inking the edges. This is Pixie colored cardstock, and I'm going to be using Pixie ink so that it's tone on tone and just give it a little bit of depth and dimension. I have made a million of these types of flowers. If you guys have followed me very long, one of my very first videos that I ever created was a wedding bouquet made out of book pages, and I used this flower. I think this is the perfect flower for the bouquet, and I've made tons and tons of those bouquets. I used to have them in my Etsy shop, actually, which I don't have anymore, but I just really love this rose and how dimensional it is. It's very fun. So it is from the Art Philosophy Cricut collection, and the other 2 flowers I'm going to make are from the Flower Market Cricut collection. Both of them are from Close to My Heart's collections. I will have my Cricut affiliate link below if you are interested in purchasing either of those collections. They are also available through the Cricut Access subscription. So if you have that, you have access to these files or these images, and I will link the image numbers below as well. But you can purchase an Access subscription through my Cricut affiliate link. it's a Close to My Heart Cricut affiliate link because there are certain Close to My Heart Cricut products that are only available through my Close to My Heart affiliate link, but these ones are available on Access. So now onto the Gerber Daisy. I am again just very quickly inking, just give a little bit of dimension, not spend a ton of time making sure I'm in between every single petal. I mostly wanted to cover the outside, make sure that you can't see the white core of the cardstock. I wanted to cover that up as well as give it some extra little bit of dimension. So I'll do a couple of these on camera. I scraped off some of the color of the cardstock when I was scraping it off of the mat, and so I'm just showing you that even though there was a kind of a white gouge in that cardstock, I just covered up with the ink and you can't even notice it. So I'm just going to adhere each of these flower layers together, centering them and staggering the petals. And then the small little pieces. If you wanted it to be two-tone, you could use the opposite side of the cardstock because the other side of Close to My Heart's cardstock is a lighter shade of the same color. But I opted to do the same color. And for the center, I put a little piece of tape on the back to hold it to my finger and then used the black shimmer brush to add some shimmer. And I colored around the edge also to cover up the white core that you could see. And now we have our second flower finished. So this next flower is super fun. It's very dimensional, and I'm inking the edges again. So I used both sides of the lemonade cardstock to do this. The outer layer is the darker shade and the inner layer is the lighter shade. And I'm going to use hot glue. First I'm curling them in shape, and then I'm going to use hot glue. There's a little slit at the bottom, put just a little tiny dot of hot glue and overlap that just a little bit to give it that curl and dimension to the petal. By the way, I used hot glue for the spiral rose as well because I love that the hot glue dries really fast. I explain how to assemble that rose a lot more clearly in the video that I will link below, which is how to make a wedding bouquet. So if you're interested in making a wedding bouquet too, it'll show you that, but it also shows you in detail how to roll the flowers. So this one comes with a sort of a round shape that you glue the outer 4 bigger petals to, and then kind of stagger the inner petals in between those. And then those fun black shapes go in the middle. I believe this is a poppy. So I'm going to do the same thing. I put a little dab of adhesive to the back so that it will stick to my finger and not go anywhere, and then used the black shimmer brush to add shimmer and go around the edge to cover up that white core that's showing. The shimmer brush also makes the cardstock kind of a darker black as well. And then I'm curling the edges up a little bit to give it some more dimension. And then I'll use a little dab of hot glue on the back because the base that it's going on is a little bit lumpy to glue that down. I did the same thing to the second piece and glued that down as well. I decided that the rose needed a little shimmer because I didn't have any shimmer on that. So I just very quickly, not, giving a lot of care to make sure it's perfect, gave some shimmer to the rose. And it's really hard to catch that on camera, but it's really shiny and pretty. It's easier to see the black. So I cut out 6 petals or leaves. These are all rose leaves, but I'm using the same leaf for each one. And here I'm showing you how cute it would be to decorate these little bags with the flowers. If I wasn't making the pens, I would probably do a smaller version of these flowers and decorate the bags with them. It looked super cute. And you saw that white bag too that I did for Mrs. Person. That is my daughter's teacher. She's making one of these for her teacher, and she did all the stamping all on her own. She is 6. So I just put the letters on her block for her to stamp Mrs. Person, and she did all of the other stamping and picked out the hearts and the flowers. So now I'm doing the pen, and I just use inexpensive Bic pens, and then I'm putting the leaf just a dab of glue at the end of the leaf and putting it on the bottom of the flower very neatly, so because the bottom is going to be showing, and so I want it to be very neat. I want to point out that it probably would be better to use E6000 glue if you have that, because hot glue doesn't always stick very well to plastic. It'll probably pop off at some point, but it's staying now for my purposes. I might go back and add some E6000 around it, but if you do have E6000, I would suggest that. Then I'm using floral tape. This is a lighter floral tape. It also comes in a dark green. I thought that this matched the green apple leaves well, and the bright color went with the color of the flowers, the bright flowers. Then I stretched the floral tape as I pulled it as I went down to kind of release a stick that happens when you do that. And then did a little dab of glue at the bottom. And now I have a really cute flower to put into these bags. So I sized the bags so that they would be just a little shorter than the pin when the pin was in there diagonally. I'm going to do the exact same thing with the Gerber daisy. And since I'm holding it in place for a little bit while it dries, you can see it's kind of flopping over a little bit there. And then I'm curling these leaves down. The last pen, I curled the leaves up because I wanted them to curl up with the flower. But since this flower is a lot wider and flatter, I wanted the leaves to curl down. And then I'm going to ruffle the petals a bit to give it a little more dimension since it is such a flat flower. So the bottom petals I am curling downward, and the top petals I am curling upward, and just kind of ruffling them up to give it a little bit of dimension. And that looks really cute. And then I did the floral tape the same way as I did on the first one. Very cute in the bag. So this is something that you can do with kids if you want them to stamp onto the bag first, and they could even help with certain parts of putting the flowers together. My daughter really liked decorating that bag. She thought it was so fun. So this one I just want to show you, I did the leaf a little different. I put a little dab of glue about halfway up the leaf because I wanted that to kind of curl upward a little bit because of the shape of that rose. I filled each of the bags with some Valentine's candy to help weight it down and fill it with goodies, of course. And that completes the actual bag. Now I'm going to decorate the outside of it with some die cuts. So I have this, I forget what it's called, but that holographic paper, which is awesome, was cut with a new die cut that's sort of like a doily shape. I will link it below along with all the other supplies. But since the holographic paper is a little bit more spendy, I didn't want to waste any bit of it. So I cut out the center of it with a stitch circle die, and I'll use that for another project because I wanted to stamp on a white circle and cover up the center of that holographic paper doily. I'm spelling out my friend's name because I wanted to personalize this for her. She is getting this little goodie bag for hosting a Close to My Heart party with me. And so I spelled it out with the, what's the name of this stamp set? It is the Modern Alphabet stamp set, and I think that it's such a fun font and it's a nice small size. Alphabet stamps are one of those things that I keep forever. I very rarely will purge my alphabet stamps because I am a font nerd and I like to have every font available, every size. This one is called Erin's Hand, and it is a favorite of mine. I love that it has capitals and lowercase and those little icons like the hearts and stars and these leaves that I'm using. My daughter used the hearts and the flowers that are in that set to decorate her little bag. So I'm going to just use a little bit of liquid glue to adhere the outer doily to the bag. And then I'm going to pop up that piece with Melody's name on it on some foam squares to give it a little bit of extra dimension. and we're going to call that one done. It is a very simple decoration, I guess you could say, but it's just got such a wow factor with that beautiful pen in there and the holographic paper, and of course being personalized is always a nice touch. So I'm using some hearts they're stitched hearts to decorate this other bag, and I cut them out of scraps. So remember the scrap I told you to pay attention to at the beginning of the video, the light pink and floral hearts are cut out using that. So I used all of it to cut out hearts. And this is another very simple but very cute decoration. Here are all of the finished bags, and I just love how they turned out, and I think that these flowers are so cute. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Please be sure to check out everybody else's projects, which are linked below, and all of the supplies that I used are linked below as well. Thanks so much for watching today, and have a wonderful day.